Hello friends, welcome back for another video. Today we will talk about playing media in our Xamarin Forms apps. We won't be using Xamarin Communities media element, but we will use VLC Media Player for Xamarin, libVLC Sharp. So why will we use this instead? First, because VLC Sharp is very powerful. It is more powerful than the native media player we have on Android and iOS. And also because it is an awesome alternative to all the media players that we have. So let's dive in. So let's talk about what we will cover. First, we will have a brief introduction to VLC Media Player. We will see how to add VLC Media Player to our Xamarin Forms project. We will play media, learn about important things to consider when using VLC Media Player, controlling media with VLC, streaming media from sources that require authentication. We will have a brief intro to the media player element and a brief note about playlist management. So, what is VLC? VLC is a popular free open source media player that is available on every major OS. It originated as a student project at l'École Centrale de Paris. This project, named Videoland, was initially meant to consist of a client and a server to stream videos across the school's campus. VLC, which stands for Videoland Client, was initially the client part of the project. Now it is mostly known for its powerful media player functionalities. So the first thing is to create a new project. We created a new project for this demo, and to get started with VLC Media Player in Xamarin Forms, it's very easy. After creating a new project, we open the NuGet packages, and as you can see, I added on iOS the libVLC Sharp.forms and Videoland.libVLC Sharp.iOS packages. On Android, we do the same thing. In the shared project too, we install VLC. So, what we will cover in the first place is the easiest part of the libVLC Sharp library, that is the media player element. Basically, as you can see mentioned by Martin Finkel in his blog post, this media player element is a view that contains a video view and controls already available to manipulate any media stream at its disposal. It offers a plug-and-play functionality you can leverage to quickly build apps that consume media without the burden of writing UI elements yourself. You can customize this control to suit your purpose. So for this element to function, we need Font Awesome 5. We install Font Awesome by copying the Font Awesome files and pasting it in Android in the Assets folder and in iOS the Resources folder. Check out the properties. So I have to mention something. There is this new way of adding fonts into your Xamarin Forms apps, where you just come into the shared project and add it to the resources, but I tried and it didn't work. It is only the traditional way of adding fonts that worked for me. So if you succeeded in making it work that way, please, you can leave it in the comments. As I mentioned earlier, it is really easy to get started with the media player element. Here we have a media player element page, and we just call it into XML and bind it to the media player inside our view model. So this is our view model. It contains the libVLC instance. We will cover this in more details later. And our media player. Here is where we instantiate the media player. So once we are done with this, all we need is to run the app. And as easy as that, we have a player with all the controls available. We can play and pause the video. We can fast forward. We can control the sound. and all of that. You might be asking yourself, why do we need Font Awesome? These icons are gotten from Font Awesome 5. So that is why we needed to add Font Awesome. While this media player element is awesome and easy to use, its design is not that beautiful according to me. So you might want to style it. We will not go deep into this media player element, but I will leave in the description a link to a sample demonstrating how it is styled. This element is derived from Xamarin Forms content view, and it can be styled just as any other Xamarin Forms control. To demonstrate how to control media with libVLC#, I created this page with basic controls required by media playing app. That is play, pause, increase volume, step forward, and all the like. And the main view here is the video view provided by libVLC. It is responsible for displaying the video stream that we will control. So all we have to do is pass to it an instance of the media player. Note that if you're building a music player, you won't need this video view, obviously. All you need is the media player, and it will play your media in your app even when your app goes in the background. After using libVLC# and talking to the guys maintaining this awesome library, I learned from them some important things to take into consideration when using VLC Media Player. The first thing is, after streaming your media, you should consider handling the disposal of the libVLC# object. That is, the libVLC object, the media player, and the media. When playing media with VLC, it is better to use one libVLC instance only and multiple media players. As we can see in the code behind, we have a set of event handlers for the controls placed on the view. The first thing we will see is how to play and pause the media stream. Basically, if we want to play the media for the first time, there is the play method. Here is the media we are controlling. But the problem with this method is that when we play, it goes and plays from the start. What if we want to allow our users to play and pause, and when he plays back, he continues playing the stream from where he stopped? To do this, we have to call the setPause method. This method will either play or pause the media depending on if the media player is playing or not. And implementing the stop functionality is as easy as the play functionality. Now, our user doesn't want to watch a specific part of the movie. What does he do? He moves the stream forward. What if he changes his mind and wants to go back? What if he wants to watch only a specific part of the movie and wants to stick the stream to that part? And this is how we do it. First, we will implement this method seek_to that will take a time span and seek the stream to the specific position. This is how we seek to a specific time in the stream. So, here is a property that is very important in the media player. The value set in this property corresponds to the time where we want to play the stream. Once we implement this method, we can use it to implement other functionalities like seek_to, step forward, or step backward. Implementing this functionality is as simple as passing a time span to the seek method we created above. The same thing goes for the seek forward button. When the user moves the duration slider, it should move the stream too. Since our duration slider has a minimum value of 0 and a maximum value of 100, we can consider this as percentage moves. Luckily, the libvlc# library provides us with the position property on the media player, and this property corresponds to the movie's position percentage in a range of 0 to 1. Taking this into consideration, we can implement the seek functionality easily. So now, our users want to know how long our movies or music will last, and how much of it they have already watched. So we need to implement this functionality too. To do this, we will need to subscribe to a few media player events, that is, the position change and the playing event. So when the media player starts playing, the playing event is called. When this event is fired, we can get the media's duration from the length property of VLC media player object. And as the media player is playing, we want to update the slider that indicates the position at which the stream is. To do that, the media player position change event is our friend. All we need to do is update the value of the slider, of the duration slider. And as time passes and the user streams more of the movie, we want to display how long he has been watching. We do this by subscribing to the player's time changed event. And when this event is called, we update the elapsed time label with the appropriate time. So now, what if we want to stream media from sources that require authentication? Most often, you won't stream media from public sources. You will need a player that authenticates to that source. Unfortunately, VLC does not have a built-in system for authentication. The last time I checked, this was not implemented yet, and it was to be implemented. But luckily, we have a way to go around this. To authenticate, instead of passing headers to the player, we use an HTTP client to query the API with the appropriate readers. Then we create a stream to the resource that we pass to the player as a stream media input. The problem with this method is that we download the media into a memory stream, and that is not really efficient. So I really hope VLC will have that authentication functionality very soon. So now, what if you want to detect errors when you're streaming media? The media player has an event named encountered error. This event is fired anytime there is an error while playing media. Now let's end our video by talking about playlist management. What if you have a long list of media items that you want to play? Several players have out of the box the functionality to handle a list of media, but libvlc# does not implement this functionality. Though in the native library of VLC, you can have list management, libvlc# contains only a little part of this portion of the native code, and it is not implemented yet. As mentioned by the guys maintaining VLC, this functionality will not be implemented now. As of now, it is not intended to be implemented yet. So, if you have a list of media, there is this event that will help you a lot. Basically, this event is called anytime your media has finished reading, and once it is called, you can pass a new media to the player and thus implement your own list management functionality on top of VLC. So to end this tutorial, we are going to implement the two last functionalities, that is to mute the player and to control volume. As you can see, we have a slider to control the volume, and this slider's value will change depending on how the user moves it. Basically, all we have to do is assign this value to the volume property of our player. Then to mute our player, all we have to do is to pass a boolean value to the mute property of our player. That's all. So once we do that, we have our demo complete, and let's try it. So let's run it and see what we have built. As you can see, we have our player that plays normally, slider that slides, that moves, and the time indicated under. We can forward 10 seconds or backward 10 seconds, or we can control the media as we wish. So that is it. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please don't forget to subscribe and click the like button. Thank you, and see you soon.